No, I mean, I'm just coloring these scenes, basically coloring these frames one by one, and just piece by piece. One of the things I learned is simplification. I'll have to change the designs of these characters. I thought I simplified them a lot, but apparently not. Like, just getting through Anzu's ponytail was a nightmare. Just a nightmare. It's just all these things that you don't think about initially. You know, you're all caught up in the design of it all and the excitement of it all. And then when you start actually drawing it, you know, like animating it frame by frame by frame, all these things come out and it's just so weird. And then I have an issue mostly with the program that I'm using right now. I committed to using Adobe Animate, which is really just their rebranding of Adobe Flash. It still functions like Flash when you use it at its most basic level. You know, when you use it like how you might have used it way back in the day when they were owned by Macromedia. But because of that, and I guess even because of the fact that it's vector based, it has issues that I don't like, and stuff that I'm only noticing and thinking about now, like as I'm coloring these frames and coloring all the little pieces of it, I'm looking at certain stuff, and it does this thing. Like you'll use the paint bucket, and it's supposed to fill an entire area. You know, you can set it so that it fills the largest area, and you're like just going along, and then you look back over it and you see like there's this little bitty triangle in the corner of empty space, and you're like, oh my, ugh. And so you have to go back through each frame and get that little bitty space. Why is that something that in 20 some odd years they still haven't figured out? They still haven't made it so that you can get that, so that it captures every single area. And I guess it just has something to do with the fact that it's vector based. There's something about the way that the program works and the way it recognizes shapes and lines, and I don't know, I don't like it. But I mean, every cartoon that I watch, every bit of animation that I'm looking at, I look at the color and I think about what they had to go through to do this. I mean, and I'm talking like old school and new school. I'm talking about when they were hand painting stuff and when they were doing it digitally. You know, it's strange. You know, I've never had the opportunity to sit and watch contemporary colorist work. I mean, not that I've had the chance to sit and watch old school colorist work, but there's plenty of video footage of them working, you know, ink and paint at Disney, and tons of stuff and tons of footage like that. But you don't really see footage like that of digital animators working. You don't see the programs they're using and how they get around these kinds of problems, or if they even have to. I mean, I suppose if you're working on a production, a large production, like I'm watching OKKO, and I'm looking at the simplified shapes, you know, they're using very simple shapes, very flat color, and it works. But do they ever run into that problem? I mean, I know a lot of OKKO is done by hand, you know, old school way, but there's no way they're putting that on cell and then inking and painting it by hand with actual ink and paint. It's done digitally, but there's, as far as I know, no footage of that. And it's like, why is there no footage of this kind of stuff? I mean, maybe I'm just looking in the wrong place. I guess I'm gonna have to do a Google search and maybe a YouTube search and just figure all this stuff out. Just look. And I mean, like I was saying though, I figure when it's a large production, then you don't really have to worry about that kind of stuff because there are multiple people working on a single scene, I suppose. I could be wrong. I don't really know how the production pipeline works in that regard. Oh. Well, maybe I'll go visit a couple of local studios and pick their brains. I could kind of use a little inspiration, a little uplift, you know? Because it's a slog getting through all these scenes. And you become over familiar with your work when you're looking at every little detail of it coming into creation, bit by bit and piece by piece, over what feels like an extraordinarily long amount of time. But, I am curious though. I'm going to have to look this up.